Hey everyone, welcome to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. And what are we talking about this time? Microsoft. Well, they're raising prices again. They saw Nintendo and said, hold my beer. We'll outdo you. We'll outdo everyone. So before we get started, make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notifications, all that good stuff. So Microsoft, much like, Sony hasn't said it yet, but I'm sure they're probably next in line, is raising prices on Xbox consoles, controllers, and games worldwide. Microsoft is raising the prices of the Xbox Series X and S consoles, Xbox controllers, and even some new Xbox games around the world. Starting right now, Microsoft says it has adjusted its recommended retailer pricing for its Xbox console and controllers with the Xbox Series X being bumped by $100 to $599.99, so $600. Microsoft is also planning to adjust the pricing of some of its new first-party Xbox games this holiday season up to $80. So if you want to play Redfall, you're going to have to spend $80. Microsoft's Xbox Series S, the 512 gigabyte model, is moving from $300 to $380. The Xbox Series S 1 terabyte model is moving to $430. And the Xbox Series X Digital Edition will be priced at $550, and the 2 terabyte Galaxy Black Special Edition model is $730.
$30 more than the PS5 Pro, just FYI.
$30 more
for nothing more than a 2 terabyte hard drive.
And special sparkles on a black console.
They're smoking crack at this point. They got a crack habit. They gotta freaking take.
They gotta
of.
fund it, man. They got controllers and headsets are also having their recommended retail pricing adjusted in the U.S. with the base controller moving to $65, and the Xbox wireless headset is now $120. It should be $0 because they ain't worth buying in the first place. You can already find both of these accessories at this type of pricing right now. So go out and buy them for more expensive prices. Some new Xbox games are moving from $69.99 to $79.99 this holiday. They saw Switch do it, so they say, hey, so will we. In a move that matches the more expensive pricing in the Nintendo's top Switch 2 launch titles, Xbox Game Pass pricing will remain the same, though. As for now, we'll see if that goes up. But right now, it's going to stay where it's at. The Xbox console and controller price increase will also impact European countries, including the UK, as well as markets like Australia. In Europe and the UK, the Xbox Series S will now be priced at €350, with the Xbox Series X rising to $599. Sony has also increased. So Sony did do a price increase, but only in European countries. They did not do one here in the US yet. So Microsoft had hiked prices of the Xbox Series X in June of 2023 as part of the price increase that also impacted Xbox Game Pass, their subscription service, which also had price increases and things like that. The price raises come from uncertainty over the tariffs, and just a day after Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, hopefully I said that right, revealed that Microsoft ended the quarter as the top publisher by pre-orders and pre-installs on both Xbox and PlayStation Store during the company's Q3 fiscal earnings call. Microsoft has also saw PC Game Pass revenue increase by 45% year over year, which means they must raise prices.
We made a shitload money this year. We made profits. Let's raise the price on everything.
Let's make more profits. Pat, let's go to you, buddy. What do you think of Microsoft's plan?
Phil and the president are smoking crack together. That's the only thing I can think of. Well, I mentioned it when Sony raised their prices, but long gone are the days where consoles and things go down in price as they age, right? Like, in what world is a console price going up $130? In what damn world is that? Like, they can blame tariffs
Right.
all they want, but they've not gone into effect in any of the stuff that's in stock, right?
Not yet.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. They've not gone into effect.
And
that will
this
affect us.
console has been out for 5 years,
Yeah.
right? The Xbox Series
Yeah.
X and S launched in
Mhm.
2020. So
Right.
it's a 5-year-old device. Usually as devices age, like you were saying,
They
they
go in
go
price.
down in price, not
Right.
up.
Yeah, and especially like accessories too. Like we're talking, like the headset going up, $10, which whatever. But I mean, like the Xbox Elite controller went up what $20? It was $180 down at $199. Yeah, and then, but like I said, the Galaxy $600 to $730. That's stupid. Like you can't tell me that this to me is just Microsoft trying to kill off their own console. That's all this says to me, because we know they don't want to be a console maker. It's a loss leader for them almost at this point, right? It's like, hey, we did this just so we can get everybody in our Game Pass ecosystem, and now we got what we want to be in this ecosystem, and everything is an Xbox now, so we don't need to make Xbox anymore. I think it almost feels like they are trying to put the nail in the Xbox hardware market themselves. It's like, let's just make this shit so unappealing price wise that nobody's going to buy it. And we can just use this to say, oh, sales have slowed in our hardware. We're just not going to do it. Right. We already know that they have that are supposedly the next gen already dev kits and stuff or stuff like that's already out there. But this just means that the next Xbox that's going to come out is going to be a minimum of $600 minimum, and I'm not buying it. I mean, they can Hitler that thing right up their ass sideways. I'm not doing it. They can just be like Hitler and take the pineapple sideways, because I am not buying a $600 Xbox. I mean, like I said, I find as many ways as I can to stick it to Microsoft these days. I only buy Game Pass like $10 to $20 things on CD keys for like 3 months. Screw these guys. Their money, they killed off they're killing off their console, and they're doing it on purpose at this point. You cannot tell me otherwise with this stupid boneheaded move. But we will now see Sony probably before the end of the year raise it in the US market, because they didn't do it before, but now they are going to. So, it's Microsoft. They have a plan, and their plan is, we don't want to do hardware sales anymore. We just want to be we want to be a video game publishing and storefront. We want to be Steam. So this is just another nail in the coffin, because I can't see who out there is going to spend $380 on a Series S, or $430 for a Series S 1 terabyte. I mean, come on. Like, that's just asinine. You're telling me that a 512 gigabyte larger solid state is worth $50? It fucking ain't. It is not. In this day and age, it's not $50 to get from 512 to 1 terabyte. I mean, it's just stupid at this point. Especially when Microsoft's buying in bulk and all this stuff to build their consoles out. They are just kind of kill this. I mean, I can't see what else is there. I mean, to do the math is just, I don't know. It makes me angry. I don't know how to put this, but like $130 for just some paint and an extra terabyte on the drive. Like,
you're forgetting it's sparkly paint.
But it's been out for a year now, right? Has the Galaxy been out for a year?
But did the sparkle dim? I don't think so.
It did dim. It has. They dimmed the hell out of it with this price increase. I don't know. I mean, I don't. Where's the Xboxes made at? Are they made in Taiwan, or are they made in China? They're probably both, right? And
probably a little bit of both.
Right.
Hodgepodge together.
It looks like I think the black Galaxy Black came out in October of 15th of 2024.
So not quite a year yet, So I mean, what is that? Yeah. So they're saying that because tariffs scared them, we have a almost 22% increase in price on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, that it's stupid to me, but Like I said, it just points more to me that they are trying to intentionally kill off their hardware market, because this is just a bonehead move. But it's their division to do what they want with. They've got their people, their hooks in with Game Pass, and everything's an Xbox now, so you don't really need an Xbox. And proof in the pudding, because Nick has gotten rid of his Xbox. So
yeah, I already got one. It's right in front of me.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I haven't turned on my Xbox, and I don't know when. And the only reason I still hold on to it is because of my digital library. Without that Xbox, I don't have access to any of those digital games that I bought, unless they're
crossplay.
Not crossplay, but yeah, not
cross-buy.
Cross-buy. There you go.
Yeah.
Which is not many of them, because only Microsoft was actually doing that. Everybody else was like, we ain't doing that shit. We want you to buy it 2 or 3 times. So, like I said, it's stupid. It makes absolutely no sense. Especially if Xbox is as close as everyone is saying they are to their next gen console coming out. It's just like, just sell out the stock you have and the countries you have, and put out your next gen, and then bump your prices. But no, they're making an argument to get out of the market, because if a Series X is $599, $600, just say what it is, it's $600. Do you honestly think that the next gen console is going to be $600? Because I don't. I think it's going to be $700 or $720.
I think it'll be more. Yeah,
$730. Yeah, they're going to meet that 2 terabyte Galaxy Black $730 price at minimum, probably, for the next gen console.
I'd say the next one will be. I agree with you. I think minimum 600, but probably more like 700.
And then you ask yourself, buy a pre-built PC. Because you're getting just that. I mean, you could go buy you a pre-built PC for $700-800. It's not the best gaming PC out there, and it's not even like mid-range, but it's still, you're gonna play games, and then you can play stuff that's not Xbox too. Because the majority of stuff that comes out on Xbox these days comes out on PC. I mean, I can't think of anything that's just an Xbox only game hardly these days.
Not with Xbox. I mean, like PlayStation and Nintendo, yes, but not with Xbox.
PlayStation, you got to wait a year or two, and then you get it.
Yeah, and then eventually
Nintendo, you just never get it unless you
Nintendo. You're never going to get it on anything else.
So, but yeah, so at this point, Microsoft knows this, and they have decided that they don't want to be in the hardware market anymore. We are a publisher / game rental service. We're a game subscription rental service. And they're fine with that.
Netflix of games.
The Netflix game, pretty much, right? And so now they just are getting out of the market. And this is how they're going to do it. They're going to force themselves out of the market by making their price point so unappealing to everybody. Because I don't know who's going to buy an $800 Xbox. I don't know who's going to buy a $600 or $700 Xbox, unless you're just a super diehard fan. And that's a bonehead purchase, in my opinion. Because at $800, just buy a damn computer at that point. Buy a pre-built computer from iBuyPower or whatever. Buy the entry-level gaming PC from Best Buy or whatever you got. At that point, it's pointless to buy it. Because, I mean, instead of buying a new PC, a new gaming console when they come out, you just take that money and throw it in a video card. Take that money and throw it in a new processor in the same slot, the same socket. So you're like, hey, I just see the writing on the wall. This is a direct move for them to kill their own hardware market. That's how it looks to me, and that's what I think. I don't think anything else about it besides they know what they're doing, and they're like, we don't care. Which goes to the point of the $80 video game. Everybody's going to be $80 video game. It seems like prices of video games have done nothing but skyrocket over the last 5 to 6 years. It's not like we're seeing, I mean, for the longest time, video games were 40 and then 50, and then they stayed at 60 for what felt like ever, right? Video games stayed around the $60 price mark, felt like ever. And then it seems like we got to $70 video games like a year ago, and now we're going up to $80 already. I swear the $70 video game's not been around for very long, and now we're already jumping it to 80.
And the quality of those games is not improved, right?
Yeah,
most of them.
We still get busted ass AAA games day one.
They're one of the best games. We'll talk about it at the end of the year, but one of the best games that has recently come out, Expedition 33, came out at $50.
And that's a full-fledged game.
And that's a full-fledged game, and so far, one of the best games of the year I've played.
And I don't understand why we only charge $50 for it. Why wasn't a $60 game or a $70 game? At that point, I'm just arguing typically when you see a $50 game, it's like a super short game, right? That's usually why it's there. It's like, hey, this is just like a one-trick pony game. It's a live service game or something dumb like that. But yeah.
I think it's because they knew what they had. I think about it this way: a $70 game from a studio that does have pedigree, but you don't know their work. That's a harder sell. But a $50 game, that's easier to sell. And then now that it's out there, it's selling damn good. People are talking about it. I mean, you guys have both beat it. I'm still playing through it. I got a late start. It's a great game. So
yeah, it looks like we've been seeing $70 video games for like 3 years, but $60 video games felt like they've been around for 10 years. Yeah. But we got a 3-year run with a $70 game, $70 game, and now we're hitting an $80 game. And then in some games they're talking about they should be $90 and $100, and I'm like, and at the same time, they require you to always be online, and then they come out broken day one majority of the time. Like any of these AAA studios that's wanting to put $80 to $100, they put out broken shit day one, and you're basically paid to be their bug finders.
Testers, yeah,
you're their bug finders. You're the bug hunters at that point. You're QAing this for them because they didn't QA shit with some of this busted stuff that comes out day one. You're like, did you guys even play this?
And some of the better games we play, not all of them, but some of the better games we play are from smaller developers and cheaper price games, right?
Yeah. It's going to be to the point where games are going to be $100 and everybody's going to be sticking with indie titles because they're the $60 and $50 price point where everybody can afford. And then all these developers that are pumping out $100 games, nobody's going to buy their shit until it comes down to the $50, $60 price point. And then it's just like, well, now you lost a bunch of employees and everything because people can't afford to buy your game. I mean, $100 is not something I'm willing to spend for a video game. I mean, I love video games, but I'm not willing to spend $100 on something.
No, I'm not either. Now, originally, the Nintendo 64 games launched between $60, $70, and there was a few that were a little higher because they put like a extra pack and things like that in it. So it's not that it's completely unusual, but the problem is exactly what you're saying with the game wise anyways. You're not getting any more. You're not getting any better. That's probably the hardest pill to swallow is you're not getting anything better. You're getting a day one patch of God knows how much, and then 20, 30, 40 fixes over the next 6 months. And
those cards were expensive too.
Yeah, the cart itself was,
for Nintendo to put them on carts was, carts were expensive. And then CDs, when PlayStation came, that was a much cheaper media avenue to go down.
Yeah, that's why the Nintendo went to the disc on the GameCube. Which still was an odd thing, but the
GameCube was a great system.
It was my little purple lunchbox. But no, it's ridiculous. I mean, I can understand, there's a lot of people having insecurity issues with these tariffs. I think it's an excuse right now until they actually kick in. But, they're these tariffs are like, that midnight uncle. They're in, they're out, they're in, they're out. You don't know what's happening. And then, it's hard to gauge things by that. It's hard to, make judgments on that. That's still not an excuse to use that as a reason to raise your prices before any of that actually affected you. The tariffs are stupid, but you're being more stupid by using those as an excuse. Now, I don't fully agree with Pat. They're using these price increases to put themselves out. But I also think that they're to the point where they don't care either. They really don't, because they're nailing everything else. They're making all this money on their games, their services, their, publishing. They do take losses on their consoles. The Series X, I think it said it was like $100 to maybe $200 loss. Now that might have been at original sale. I don't know. So it's just a misnomer to be sitting there saying, oh, well, I don't know what's going to happen, so let's raise the prices. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow on my way to town, so I better not go. Sure, I needed that doctor, but what's going to happen between here and there? you don't know. So it's a BS lie to just find a reason to increase their stuff. I love my Xbox. I do. I'm playing Clair Obscura on it right now, and it plays absolutely wonderful. I've played it on my PC too, but I just want to be able to sit back on my couch and just enjoy it, which, I can run it from my PC to the TV, but I love my Xbox. I just hate what Xbox is doing to itself. And this is just another reason. It's like when the PS5 Pro was launched at $700. They can eat a big old bag of Frito Peters. I'm not paying that. And Pat, you're right. When these new consoles come out, Microsoft will most likely be the leader who jumps out first with a next gen, because Nintendo doesn't actually count. They're going to come out at $700. I'm thinking they're going to try to hit for $800. They're
at that point, there's no point in buying that, because you can buy an entry level gaming PC that's going to get you
my son's PC. I think it was like $800. No, Jasmine's was $800, and it's a damn fine PC. It could play, excuse me, it could play everything my computer can, just not near as well, not near as graphically intensive. It plays on the low settings, sometimes medium, but it still looks damn good, still plays just fine. And guess what? My kids love it. I will not pay, I'm unless I get a big old chunky raise for cost of living, I'm not paying $700 or more for a console. I'm just not, especially painfully, everything is an Xbox. I mean, I'm looking at my Xbox right now. I can look over here and see my other Xbox. I can go in the kitchen, turn on the stove. There's my other Xbox. I'm good. I don't need to buy a new console if my computer can do it. Because I don't know for sure, because you guys are tech. I'm not, but I'm going to say the next gen Xbox is not going to be that much better than my computer. I have a damn good computer right now. Except for sometimes it likes to shit itself and I have to restart it. But I have a damn good computer, so I'm not fretting too much on next gen. I'm more pissed off about this generation. Console prices are to go downwards through the lifespan of a console. Just a given. That's why people don't adopt at the beginning. They wait for the price to come down. They wait for the bug fixes, things like that.
Well, it's not like Xbox. It's not like Microsoft is throwing newer hardware into that. I mean, it's still the same spec hardware that came out
10-year-old shit that was in the
and they're already they're already rolling out newer stuff, and the older stuff comes down in price. I mean, that's typically the way it is. Microsoft's treating this like they re-engineered the whole thing, and they're putting newer components in there.
And in their very minimal defense, Sony is doing the same thing.
Everybody is,
Nintendo's doing the same thing.
They got greedy.
I don't know about it's definitely greedy. Anything that does well, they're gonna milk you until you dry it up, like the dude at the end of Indiana Jones, just a husk. Mm-hmm. So I think Microsoft is really, really shitting themselves in the foot. And don't get me wrong, Pat, I don't fully disagree with you about trying to just end it with the console cycle, but I don't think this is the way to go before you launch your next console.
I do. It is because that means that they don't have to make as many of the next gen, because they're going to be like, well, once we raise our price, we saw this amount.
Yeah, but why would they go through all the R&D, all the development, and granted,
because they can write it off.
Yeah, and there's a big problem with fucking society. Pardon my language. There's a big problem with our country. Everything can be wrote off except for people like me. I can't write off my medical bills 99% of the time.
And do you really think they're pumping much R&D into this thing? They're like, no.
No, I think this next console
they're phoning it in.
It's going to be a PC. It's going to be a PC. It's going to be a pre-built iBuyPower PC with an Xbox logo on it.
They're just phoning it in. They got a plan.
It's going to be a Samsung TV with an Xbox logo.
There you go. That'll probably be it. But no, it's a shame that not just Microsoft, but the entire gaming community, from publishers, developers, console makers, they're all just shitting all over their fan base. I mean,
I mean,
way
they're
it comes
basically
out
going to
to.
kill their. I mean, and they're not going to kill it. Obviously, the gaming market is too huge, but I feel Microsoft wants to get out of the hardware business, and this is their.
Oh no,
this is their easy
I
button to do it.
completely agree with that. I completely agree with that. I think
This is their easy button.
they are definitely wanting to work their way out, but
That way, they're like, well, we only need to launch with 10 million units, or whatever. They're like, we don't need to worry about selling anywhere near as many Xbox 360Xs or whatever the hell they're going to call this one as we sold to the Series X, because we intentionally are pricing this out, so we don't have to worry about we won't have to worry about tariffs, because we're just going to do what everybody else does, and we're going to circumvent tariffs. We're going to ship these parts in from New Zealand or something, or Canada or whatever has got the lowest tariffs.
They got tariffs too.
They're going to go to the lowest tariff country. They're going to go to the lowest.
Penguin Island still got 20%. No, but no,
Penguins can manufacture, chips.
But how do they use the screwdriver with that little flipper? I cannot get that one figured
Duct
out.
tape. Just tape it to their flipper.
2000s Penguins tape screwdrivers to their little flippers. Who's that, Pingu? But no, the whole thing is disgusting. The direction the gaming market has gone, it's just horrible, absolutely horrible. I don't know, and I know it's because I'm older. I've seen a lot more, but I've never seen stupidity and greed and just as much as it's gone the last 10 years. So
I'm just afraid, I've talked about it before, but they're going to outprice your consumer market.
We can't afford it anymore.
Yeah.
I can't afford $100 games. I will not afford $100 games.
No.
And that's why I play, a lot of the games I buy nowadays, I talked about before, are either Steam sales or they're a lot of indie titles, right? A lot of titles, unknown developers and stuff like that, because they're usually cheaper games. And
a lot more CD key games.
Yeah, just finding good deals out there, waiting for sales to come along, because the games are just right now at this current time with $60, $70 games, most of them being 70. A lot of the big publishers and stuff, it's just too hard to come by, right? So you're waiting for those to go on sale or something like that.
No, they're going to do exactly that. They're going to price themselves out of business. I mean, they've got to find. They got to find a better way to do it. But, Nick always leads us to games that are, that are affordable, that are just something even out of the blue. What's the Child of Clay? That was just such an interesting game. So neat. So just, out of the blue. I really like it. And you always find games like that. And that's what everything's going to cycle back, I think, to indies, because those guys are going to be the only ones that are not
the small studios that don't have the overhead that need the $80 price tag. And I hate when people use the argument of inflation and all this crap. It's like, inflation's real. Of course it's real. But you know what also has inflation? Wages. Oh, yeah. Wages have not climbed as fast as inflation. So you want to keep your consumer market. Your consumer market isn't keeping up. So you obviously are going to shrink your consumer market by inflating your prices too much. Inflation's a real thing, but at the same time, I don't care that if you put video game equivalency of 1987 was $60 or whatever in today's money or whatever. I don't give a shit. I can tell you what I can afford today.
Money is 1987.
I can tell you what I can afford in today's money, and I think that the majority of people are in the same boat. I ain't wealthy, by a long shot, and so I can tell you what average gamers probably do, and I honestly believe that the three of us are probably above average in the amount that we spend on games.
Well, you think about it too, like back when you were a kid, you didn't get as many games as like nowadays, right? They didn't come out as often, right? And a lot of the big titles, like, throughout the year, you would have like a handful of maybe big titles that come out that you want to play. And then you would get one of those as the year progressed, right? Your
Yes.
parents would eventually buy you one. Or we had a lot of things that I did a lot was every weekend would rent from Blockbuster and play, whatever new game came out or something like that.
Rent a video game for 5
and
days.
so we rented a lot, right? We hardly ever owned,
right?
Most of us, at least, hardly ever owned a lot of them. We rented a lot of them from Blockbuster in various places.
And you think about that, the nostalgia just kicks in when you say that. We used to buy and rent video games based off of box art. Yeah. We didn't have the internet to tell us, hey, this
Nintendo
is what this game.
Power gave you a little bit
we had
of
magazines, so Game Pro.
But those came out after the games usually released. Right. The expose on those games were after the games released. So if you saw a new game on the shelf at Blockbuster, you were looking at the box art to determine, is this something that I want to spend my money on? Especially if you were buying it too. You're like, Yeah, I remember going to Blockbuster as a kid a lot of time and renting games that I knew nothing about. It was just whatever if it had a manual or the box, what it looked like. If it looked cool, I'm like, all right, I'll try it out.
Because you were going to spend $5 for a 5 day
weekend
rental
or whatever, right? Or
it was
5 day game. It was like 3 or 5, 3 to 5 day rentals. So you spend different amounts for 3 versus 5 day rentals.
Right. Yeah, but you can't do that anymore. But here's my worry: is they're going to go back to that. It's going to be all digital. You can rent your game. Yeah.
Doesn't GameFly do something like that, or when they
have physical games?
Yeah, but
couldn't you rent digital games?
I don't know. They didn't used to. I don't know if they've done that now.
I know, I know you can watch movies. You can watch 2 minutes and 3 minutes, and then do you want to watch some more? I think they're going to start doing that with video games. I'll let you play 5 minutes if you like it. Give me $70, $80, $100. Do this thing for me behind the alley. It's just going to be a disgusting.
It's going to be like when you go to the bar and they want to start a tab.
Yeah.
That's what the consoles are going to be like. Before you start playing anything, it's like, let's start a tab. Yep. Insert your credit card.
Yeah, and before you know it, Bill Gates at your front door with a jar of lube and a debt. Going to be bad.
Fun times.
Yeah. So I mean, or everything's going to be cloud gaming where you don't actually download it. Then that's how you rent it. Your rental is cloud gaming where you get to play it on the freaking cloud. No, thank you.
Come on, you want to play some Call of Buffering with me.
Yeah.
Call of Buffering.
Or when you have no internet and you can't do anything. Well, you can't play half the crap anymore because of DRM these days.
Remember about a month ago, my internet went out. My modem went to poop. Couldn't play shit that I had downloaded because it all required internet. So I broke out my girls. We had a good time, played some old Final Fantasy, did a little Seaman. Before you had to do all the, you're got to be connected to this shit. Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, because you think about it, we lost power. I lost power here because of storms and stuff.
Yeah.
And whip out about Switch is about the only thing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And if you buy all that
or
stuff
sex,
digital,
but we all pick different things.
Well, I don't need to contribute to another Ice Storm baby boom or something, right? But yeah, so I mean, you can't play anything without being online anymore, and digital just perpetuates that, right? I mean, if you buy digital, you have to be logged online to play that because they're like, oh, we noticed you don't have an internet connection, you can't play this, and you're just like, Argh.
So even physical, though, you got.
I don't remember what it was. It was something. I don't remember why I wasn't online, but it wasn't online for some reason, and I went to go play something. This was a while back, and it was a single player game. But yeah, I couldn't because I had to be online. I was like, but I just want to.
I want to play.
Can't I just play this? I mean, there's no online anything on this.
You might be pirating that or something, Nick. They can't trust you, man. They can't trust you.
I think it was I think it was more like PlayStation or Xbox service was down. So I just got on there. I was like, oh, I'll just play this. Right. It's a single player game. And it was like, nope. And I'm like, why do I have to be online to play this? It's a single player game.
I think with everything going digital the way it is, there needs to be in this country, there needs to be some laws and regulations around DRM because that's a killer, right? When Sony or Microsoft gets hit with a DDoS or something, we can't play anything because their service isn't online. And you're like, their service offline, I can't play because people hate your company or whatever. Or maybe you guys screwed up something in your data center, and you guys did a poor a poor
Right,
DR
because if it
strategy.
goes down, you might be like, "Oh, that sucks," but that's okay. I'll just go play like
Right.
this. It's a single player game. I'll just play this
Yeah.
one until it comes back online. But then you're like, "Oh, it doesn't."
These
let me.
companies got a poor DRDA solution in place, and next thing you know, we can't play something because their data center went under or whatever, and their secondary is not up or whatever. Or they lost a bunch of crap in their secondary.
Yep.
And you're
Toilet
like,
flooded, blew out the servers.
You're just like, come on, I am being punished, and I can't play the single player game because your guys is.
But you're forgetting something that's very important in this.
I don't own the game.
That's right. You don't own shit. You're only paying for the right to play.
You're paying
when
for
they want you to play.
You're renting it already.
You're leasing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not lease to own either.
Yeah. Lease with an option to kiss it goodbye.
Yeah. So I mean, we all know, right? Xbox. I mean, hopefully everybody knows at this point that Xbox wants out of the physical hardware business.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't believe that, just give it. There won't be another generation of Xbox after the next consoles after the next one.
Yeah,
it will be. If anything comes out, it will be a cloud device like the NVIDIA Shield,
the LG TVs and stuff built in.
Yeah, I agree. If anything comes out after the next Xbox iteration, it will be more of a smaller like access device.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be an appliance, not really a console, more of an appliance for accessing
the dongle. You'll get the X dongle.
The X dongle. The dongle X.
Dongle X.
Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is at this point. I mean, at this point, I'm not really surprised. I'm annoyed with them, but this just cements for me what they're going to do.
Course, right?
Yeah, it just cements what they're doing to my eyes even more. Yeah, and it's their company to do what they want with. But I've been a longtime fan. I remember when Game Pass first came out. At first, I was a little leery of it, but I bought in pretty quick and was subscribed for years. And then they just did like price increase after price increase without adding value, in my opinion, and then taking things away, right? Because there just used to be the single tier of Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate, and Game Pass Ultimate was affordable for the longest time, and you got day one games with it. The only difference was you get Xbox and PC, but Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate both got day one games. Now the only way you get day one games is with Ultimate. Mm-hmm. None of the lower tiers get day one games, and it's just like they're forcing you into this higher tier and then not giving you anything, because we were promised family plans that never came out. They shelved the shit out of that because they knew they were going to lose their ass on it. And now we have nothing except for increasing prices to kill off their hardware market and increasing prices for busted ass games that come out day one. I feel a lot more people are just going to be buying into the discounted market before long, because at $80, I'm not risking something on an iffy game at that point. $80, I'm on the fence about this game, which means I ain't buying it.
And don't forget, it's going to go $80, and then it's also going to go all digital. So, if you buy digital, that should be a $20 fucking saving. But
it should be a savings, right? Because they don't have the logistics.
Stick in there, GameStop. Mm-hmm. You're going to make a comeback here. With
I don't know how they're going to make a comeback.
Buying secondhand with all they're going to go do with all the old games and stuff. Retro.
Yeah, it's going to be the retro.
Expand their retro.
The
section.
Xbox 360X and the PS7 aren't going to be, or PS6 aren't going to be physical.
Mm-mm. Nope.
It's going to be the retro GameStop retro.
Now all the retro shit's going to get like super expensive,
super pricey,
more pricey than it already is, because some of the stuff's already ridiculously priced.
Oh yeah. That's why I've been holding on to mine for so long. So when I die, the kids can sell it and make $12.
They'll give you $15 in-store credit for that.
That's right. That's right.
Like if you're a pro member,
for the body or for the games.
Like, I don't know if you guys saw that guy who sold his entire Amiibo collection to GameStop for like $1,300 in-store credit, and it was a massive collection that he probably could have got twice as much if he would have sold it himself, just so he can buy him a Switch 2 and some games.
I have a ton of Amiibo, or not Amiibos.
$1,300?
$1,300 in-store credit.
Wow.
So like I said, he sold it. That was just a recent article I saw. Yeah. College student brought in their full Amiibo collection to GameStop, got like $1,340 in trade-in credit. And it's a massive collection. Like, I'm talking like 7 pages worth of his receipts, like almost as tall as, it's taller than he is of stuff he traded.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
But nobody, you know, you have to look at this. GameStop has got to make money on anything they buy from you. So at the same time, but you know, it's, you know, if you wanted to be able to get more, you'd have to sell it yourself and take your own time. So,
well, this time X is going to give it to you. Guess where?
They're going to give it to us, but we don't want it, and they're not going to be able to give it away.
Yeah.
Nope.
Kali Ma. All right, you guys got anything else you want to say?
Nope. I'm burnt.
Yeah. I think
by the way, Pat, great shirt for the topic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to burn this shirt now.
I bring it to the house. We'll all take turns wiping with it.
It's gonna be nostalgia back when Xbox was good, right?
Back when it was good. Back in the day.
I remember when.
If you could only tell you were in the good times when you were in the good times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Let us know down in the comments below. What do you think of Microsoft raising their prices again? And do you think PlayStation will follow suit? They did outside of the US. Do you think they will follow suit within the US? I think they will. Just give them some time. They're next on the chopping block. But let us know down in the comments below. Otherwise, make sure you like the video if you enjoyed this. Hit the subscribe button if you're still awake. And we'll see you next time.
See you.